Rising Through the Storm, A Guide to Overcoming Difficult Times.
Difficult times are inevitable. No matter how much we'd rather avoid them, they're part of life.
Just when we think things are going smoothly, life throws a curveball, unexpected challenges, disappointments, and setbacks that test our patience, strength, and hope. But here's the good news: difficult times don't last forever. They pass. They're not permanent, and more importantly, they often bring with them the greatest opportunities for growth.
Now, let me ask you something. What would life be like without any challenges? If everything were easy, predictable, and safe, no mountains to climb, no storms to weather, would it still feel meaningful?
At first glance, it might sound appealing.
No pain. No discomfort. But something crucial would be missing. Because it's in the tough moments that we learn the most. We evolve. We become wiser, stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient. Our character is not shaped by the easy days, it's forged in the fire of adversity. What happens to us doesn't define our future. How we respond does. While we can't control everything that comes our way, we do have full control over our reactions, and that makes all the difference. One helpful perspective is to think of life like the seasons. Winter always comes, cold, harsh, and seemingly endless. There are times when everything feels barren, when hope seems distant. But even winter is just a season. It's temporary. And it's always followed by spring, a season of growth, renewal, and fresh beginnings. So the question is, what do we do during our winters? How do we survive the coldest moments in our lives? The first step is to shift our perspective. When challenges arise, it's easy to get lost in the struggle and forget the bigger picture. But context matters. We must learn to see our difficulties as temporary, not permanent setbacks. They are not the end of the road. They're part of the journey. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a man who worked in construction, building homes for a living. One day, he started a new project, and everything went wrong. Materials arrived late. The weather was uncooperative. The client was unhappy. Nothing was going according to plan. He could have walked away. He could have quit. But instead, he chose to shift his mindset. He reminded himself, this is one job. One project. One bad season. It doesn't define my entire career or my worth. With that perspective, he pushed forward, completed the house, and came out on the other side more experienced and respected. What he learned during those tough days made him better in the long run. So, one powerful tool we can use when facing hardship is this: change your perspective. See the challenge for what it is, not just an obstacle, but also an opportunity. A chance to grow. A moment to develop resilience. And that brings us to another key ingredient: resilience. It's easy to keep going when life is smooth. But our true character shows up when the road gets rough. Resilience is what keeps us moving forward when everything feels like it's falling apart. When we're tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed, resilience whispers, keep going. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed hundreds, some say thousands, of times before inventing the light bulb. Most people would have quit after a dozen failures. But not Edison. He believed in his vision. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the spirit we need when we're in the middle of a storm. Each setback is not a defeat, it's a stepping stone. Keep moving. Keep trying. Don't let a temporary loss blind you to your long-term goal. Another powerful tool? Flexibility. Life doesn't always go as planned. Circumstances change. Plans fall apart. But when we're rigid, we break. Flexibility allows us to adapt, to bend without breaking. Imagine you're sailing a boat. Suddenly, the wind shifts. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You can change direction and still reach your destination. Life works the same way. We might not control the storm, but we can learn to steer through it. Sometimes, we're so attached to how we wanted things to go that we resist change. But resistance only increases our suffering.
Instead, be like water able to flow around obstacles, to change course when necessary.
The more adaptable you are, the more resilient you become. Another essential element during tough times is having a support network.
We're not meant to face life's hardest moments alone. Whether it's friends, family, or trusted mentors, we all need people we can lean on. Sometimes we just need someone to listen, someone to remind us of our strength when we've forgotten it ourselves.
Never be afraid to ask for help.
It's not a weakness, it's a strength.
Share your burdens. Talk about your struggles.
You'll be surprised how much lighter things feel when you don't carry them alone. And remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do.
And tough people aren't immune to falling, they just don't stay down. They rise. They adapt. They keep going, no matter what life throws at them.
That brings us to one more powerful tool, optimism.
Yes, it may sound cliché. But optimism isn't pretending that everything is fine when it's not.
It's choosing to focus on the possibility that things can get better.
It's seeing the potential in the problem.
It's believing in tomorrow, even when today is hard.
Think of a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't see results overnight.
He knows there will be rain, sun, and maybe storms before the harvest comes. But he plants anyway, with patience and faith that his work will pay off. That's how we need to face life's trials, with a quiet, steady hope that says, "This too shall pass."
Keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Trust that each hardship is shaping you into someone wiser and more capable.
Believe in your ability to find solutions, to grow through the pain, and to come out stronger on the other side. And perhaps most importantly, take care of yourself. In difficult times, we often neglect ourselves. We become so focused on the problem that we forget to care for our own body, mind, and spirit.
But self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Eat well. Rest when you need to. Move your body.
Make time for things that bring you peace, whether it's reading, praying, meditating, walking in nature, or simply spending time with loved ones.
Protect your mental and emotional well-being. You can't pour from an empty cup.
If you don't care for yourself, you won't have the strength or clarity to navigate life's challenges.
Make yourself a priority, not an afterthought. Now, let's talk about faith. This doesn't necessarily mean religious belief.
Though for many, that is a profound source of strength. Faith, in a broader sense, is the belief that things will get better. It's trust in the process, in yourself, and in the unseen forces working on your behalf. When you're deep in the storm, it's hard to see the sun shining on the other side. But faith is what keeps us going when we can't see the finish line. It's the inner conviction that this struggle has a purpose, that something good will come out of it even if we can't yet understand how. So remember these tools, these lifelines, that are always within your reach. Perspective, see the bigger picture. Know that this is just one chapter, not the whole story.
Resilience, keep going, even when it's hard. You're stronger than you think. Flexibility, adapt to change instead of resisting it. Be like water.
Support, lean on others.
Let them help you carry the load.
Optimism, believe that things can and will get better. Self-care, nourish your body, mind, and soul. Faith, trust the process, even when the path is unclear. Life is full of highs and lows, successes and setbacks. But how we respond to the tough moments, that's what defines us. That's what builds our character and ultimately shapes our destiny. So if you're going through a hard time right now, know this, you are not alone. Others have walked this path before you. They made it through, and so will you. I believe in you. I believe in your strength, your resilience, and your ability to overcome whatever stands in your way. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. And never forget, your best days are still ahead.